The big ship shouted to the sky and burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, so soon it won't work. And then come on. Fang Ping breathed heavily. The peak dancer of the 3 grades has a blood of up to 1,000 calories. Except for the head. The muscles, skin, bones, and flesh of the whole body are tempered to the point of invulnerability. The other party relies on a strong body to fight and consume only with us. His casual attacks are not weaker than our killer weapons. This is not the way to go. And the other side at this time, a cult warrior. A stick swept away a group of martial arts university members. A male martial arts student turned his head and shouted, "There's a 3-pint-high section here. A few more samp in to help." Everyone was shocked. Quickly turn your head to look. Fang Ping's brows furrowed. A 3-product pinnacle restrained us with 6 3-products. That's it. The siege turned against us. So Fang Ping held the phoenix mouth knife, slowly moving towards the great mission. You guys go and solve the 3-grade high-end over there. But he gave it to me privately. Gu Xiong was stunned. What did you say? The great missionary scratched his ears. I heard you right. You're going to single me out. Then the corners of his mouth raised. A 3-fret midsection. Qi and blood are only around 600 calories. The power of the explosion of qi and blood at the peak of the 3 pinnacles. It is 2 or 3 times that of the middle section. If it's just about stamina, I'm going to kill at least 6 or 7 of the 3rd frets. If it's one-on-one, Hum can solve this kid in a few strokes. Fang Ping accelerated suddenly. Rushed to the great mission. What are you doing? Let's go, Gu Xiong said. Then you be careful. Let's go help the others first. The great missionary smiled evilly. I can't beat a group fight. Even dared to go it alone. You martial arts students really have a problem with your brain. Fang Ping gritted his teeth. There is indeed too much difference in strength. But it can only be a fight. I want to stop Fang Ping and cut it down. The big ship called for its palms to be raised. A hold down the phoenix mouth knife hum. Bite off more than one can chew. Let's see how many tricks you can use. Fang Ping doesn't talk nonsense. Get straight to the point. A set of explosive blood 5 consecutive slashes. The big boat is called to put both hands on the head. Defend against attacks with both feet. Slide out of the ground for a few meters before stopping. He grabbed the phoenix mouth knife. With an incredulous face, he said, "How did you do it?" Fang Ping grinned and knelt down for his master. "I'll tell you. Let's talk about it. It's another bloody 5 consecutive slashes." The great missionary crawled backwards with a one-handed pestle. His eyes were cloudy as he looked at the wound on the back of his hand. Could it be that this is the so-called genius student? The next second, his expression suddenly became hideous. Wouldn't it be worth killing you than killing a group of 2nd or 3rd grades? No, Fang Ping is so strong. It's not going to die so easily. At this time, Fang Ping grinned and wanted to kill me. You can try. The great missionary rushed towards Fang Ping with a hideous face. Try it, just try it. Then came the punch. Fang Ping raised the phoenix mouth knife to block it in front of his chest. Then hurriedly used the system to restore qi and blood. Consume 750,000 worth of wealth. Qi and blood are replenished. Qi and blood are restored. Fang Ping stepped out with a cloud step. In an instant, he came to the side of the great missionary. Then he took a leap. Another bloody 5 consecutive slashes. The arm of the great missionary instantly flowed blood. His clothes were torn. The soles of the feet slid out of the ground for several meters. I didn't take him to stabilize his body yet. Fang Ping had already dodged behind him. When the bang. Blood splattered from the great missionary's waist in an instant. However, it did not cause much harm. Fang Ping's teeth clenched. That's too much to bear. One knife costs 100,000. The wealth value is now almost 4 million. But until now, Fang Ping could only bite the bullet. Knife 36, knife 37. At this time, there was a pop. The back of Fang Ping's hand, holding the phoenix mouth knife, suddenly cracked. Fang Ping secretly said that it was not good. It's almost gone, although I have infinite blood and energy. But the body has limits. The big roomer laughed when he saw this. Rushed towards Fang Ping. What's the matter? Keep chopping. Ban. Fang Ping was punched and fell backwards. He took advantage of the situation and stuck the phoenix mouth knife into the ground, towards the head of the great missionary. It's a poke and kick out. The great missionary turned around and threw a punch. Smack! The square alloy boot diameter burst straight open. He then kicked Fang Ping sideways. Fang Ping landed on the ground with one hand. Mark the number on the ground. Look at the shattered alloy boots. Fang Ping was extremely shocked. The peak of the three products is actually so strong. 5 million wealth plus broken alloy boots. It's a big loss. Even if you kill this guy, it's a big loss. Fang Ping glanced to the side. Besiege the battlefield of the Sampanjeo section. Hold on a little longer. Waiting for Gu Xiong, they solved those 3 rank-high sections. That's it at this time. It's funny that the great missionary suddenly said to you, with your strength, I'm afraid I can kill the entire team in the middle of the 3rd grade. It's a pity that your martial arts end here. Speaking of which, in Fang Ping's horrified gaze, he threw a punch. The air was filled with the sound of breaking wind. I only heard the sound of dang. Fang Ping blocked the phoenix mouth knife on his chest. It was directly bent, a ferocious interpretation. With the phoenix mouth knife, it slammed into Fang Ping's chest. Poof! Fang Ping's eyes rolled instantly. A mouthful of blood spurted out. Then it flew upside down like a cannonball. Draw more than 10 meters on the ground. But the big ship that uses all its strength is called. At this time, he was also gasping for breath. The dust clears. Fang Ping lay motionless on the ground. The corners of the big boat's mouth gradually rose. Then he looked up to the sky and burst into a maniacal laugh. Ha ha! I killed the 5 geniuses. It's worth it. It's worth it. My trick can shatter the internal organs. Death within the 3 grades. The martial artists turned their heads in disbelief. What did he say? Chun Yunshi red-lipped coy. Eyes wide. Fang Ping died. Immediately, he quickly ran towards Fang Ping with tears in his eyes. No, Fang Ping is so strong. It's not going to die so easily. I didn't expect that. I bought the resurrection armor. The boy came back from the dead. A set of violent blood infinite combo takes the great biography. Teach it this time. Chun Yunshi slowly walked to Fang Ping's side. The long sword in his hand fell to the ground with a thud. His whole body trembled and helped Fang Ping up. Take out an elixir from your pocket. Choked up and said Fang Ping. Wake up and take this elixir. The pill to the mouth. But Fang Ping didn't make any movement. Chun Yunshi lowered his head in pain. Tears couldn't help but burst out of my eyes. Wake up. Tears dripped down Fang Ping's face. Fang Ping's eyebrows twitched. Then slowly open your eyes. Looking at the girl who couldn't stop crying. Fang Ping said weakly, Why do I still have breath to cry? Fang Ping and Chun Yunshi suddenly opened their eyes. Hurriedly handed the pill to Fang Ping's mouth. You're gonna eat this. Fang Ping opened his mouth with difficulty. This is the return of the bullet. It can quickly repair external injuries and internal organs. On the other side, Mu Xiong and others, after dealing with the cult dancers of the high-end Sampan, the siege of the great missionary began again. He kicked a man away, said arrogantly, Even if it drains my blood, you can't kill me. At this time, suddenly a loud shout came, and everyone got out of the way. He's mine. Hear this familiar voice. Everyone turned their heads in surprise. The great missionary looked incredulous. How can it be? It's not dead. Fang Ping held the phoenix mouth knife and swung it out. The great missionary hurriedly dodged with a backward jump. At this time, Fang Ping's eyes were bloodshot, apparently not fully recovered. Bu Xiong also retreated to the side. I knew you weren't that easy to die. Fang Ping, who had just arrived at the ghost gate and walked away. At this time, the red eyes have been completely killed. Bloody 5 in a row. Bloody triple slash. The bloody madness slashed out one after another. The great missionary could not resist Fang Ping's ferocious offensive. Hurriedly picked up a large knife from the ground to block. Looking at Fang Ping, who was completely crazy, the 5 people couldn't help but open their mouths wide. Is Fang Ping really a 3-product interruption? Knife after knife is like there is no end in sight. When the bang. Fang Ping slashed down again. You use small children as human bombers. The great missionary bounced Fang Ping away with a knife. Fang Ping rushed out again. You bewitched the old man. Kill my 5 classmates. At this time, the great missionary finally began to panic. But it doesn't make sense at all. Fang Ping roared sharply. You will damage my battle knife. Destroy my blood. I lost tens of millions. Then a slap up. Stabbed the knife in the hands of the great missionary. The great missionary looked terrified. Fang Ping's eyes froze. Either way, you deserve to die. The voice fell. All blood tolerad lightning bolt fleshed. I heard only a stabbing sound. The head of the great missionary left his body. Look at this scene. There was silence in the audience. The head of the Ophian sect also fell to the ground with a clatter. One of martial arts students said hesitantly. As soon as the words fell, the body of the big boat sect also fell down with a thud. The cheers erupted instantly. One win-win. Fang Ping won. The 5 students raised their hands excitedly and cheered. Fang Ping trembled and held the phoenix mouth knife. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. More than 100 knives. Nearly 10,000 calories of chi and blood were finally hacked to death. Then the body shook and fell backwards. We're the people. I don't know if I'm going to die one day. If you have a good relationship with each other, how sad it is for the living. At this time, Fu Changding and Chen Yunxi quickly stepped forward. A handful of people held Fang Ping. Said Fang Ping with a smile. Good work for you. Fang Ping lowered his head. The lost one said that the loss was great. A return order is 200 credits. I'll take something back. Chen Yunxi's head stepped forward. It means that the return order is a lifesaver for you. I didn't intend for you to return it. Fang Ping turned his head and smiled. Then I still have a batch of 3-grade chi and blood. Do you accept it? Chen Yunxi was stunned. A drop of cold sweat slid down his face. Fang Ping looked at Chen Yunxi expectantly. Chen Yunxi sighed helplessly. Okay, me. Looking at Fang Ping in the distance. Gu Xiong and the others grinned and left. Fang Ping solved the biggest problem. It's time for us to clean up the rest. Fang Ping took out a small box and gave it to Chen Yunxi. 10 Sampin weeping blood pills. Sell it to you for 11 million. Chen Yunxi was speechless for a while. For his sake, he almost died. Then he smiled helplessly. No problem, so he reached out and grabbed the pill. Fang Ping suddenly took a step back. Chen Yunxi was stunned. What's going on here? Fang Ping was silent for a moment. I pinched my fingers and said if I converted it into credits. The blood list of 10 subjects and 3 grades is 400 points. Deduct 200 points from the life insurance list. I'll take you 5 million. Chen Yunxi said no. I'm not saying that the life-saving order is for you. Before Chen Yunxi finished speaking, Fang Ping threw the pill in his hand. That's it. Don't forget to call me 5 million when you go back. Fu Changding tilted his head to look at Fang Ping. Aren't you a first-class kid? Yunxi said that he didn't need to pay it back. Why did you take the initiative to pay it back? Fang Ping tightened the bandage on his wrist. When have I ever taken advantage? I call it equivalent exchange. Fu Changding said helplessly. You guy, it's really like a deal. People use pills to save you. You turn around, and the money is returned. I don't talk about comradeship at all. Fang Ping stood up. Calmly said, my mentor said, there is no need to invest too much affection between the 5. Fu Changding smiled awkwardly. What he would say was too cold-blooded. Fang Ping smiled helplessly. I used to think that this sentence was cold-blooded, but I experienced this life and death. I suddenly understood what he meant. Fu Channing turned his head in surprise. How to say this? Fang Ping said with emotion, we people. I don't know if I'm going to die one day. If you have a good relationship with each other, how sad it is for the living. Listen to Fang Ping's words. Fu Channing's eyes also dimmed a little. At this time, Gu Xiong and the others also came back. Fu Channing smiled and said with a smile, you are back. What about the results? Yu Xianghua slowly sat down on the ground. I'm tired of Dad. Gu Xiong frowned and said, after statistics, a total of 214 cult warriors were killed. 140 people. 65 people in the second grade. 3 advanced 9 people. 6 people were killed in the battle on our side of Wuda. All 3 of them were seriously wounded. Zhao Yang sat on the ground and said about the loot. The total value of various elixir weapons is only 50 million. Deduct the 10 3-grade D blood pills that Fang Ping gave him before the war. Worth 12 million. The families of the 6 students who died in the war were compensated 3 million yuan each. That's 20 million left. There was a pause. Zhao Yang said that the 20 million will be distributed according to work. Fu Channing raised his hands in surprise. Nearly 300 people divided into 20 million. Then how much can we share? What a loss in this battle. Gu Xiong forced a smile to count the loot. We're definitely losing. But if it's a normal battle, we still won. Zhao Yang put his hands on the ground and said, okay. It's just a Pyrrhic victory. I thought we were all the best of the best. But now it seems we are nothing. Yu Xianghua also said yes. In the end, if it weren't for Fang Ping's entanglement in the Great Mission, our death toll is likely to be much more than 6. You've disappointed me so much. Then, a big crane suddenly came from behind everyone. The plug-in was discovered. It's over, it's over. Is it really going to be caught for human experimentation? At this time, Tang Feng was severely reprimanding everyone. A bunch of self-righteous guys. Do you have a strategy in your head? Everyone lowered their heads and did not dare to speak. Tang Feng continued. The camp had 500 alloy javelins. No one found out. Are your eyes all for breathing? Nearby mountains can create traps. I don't know how to take advantage of it. What the school teaches you is for nothing. More than 200 second-class products are on standby in the periphery. Let Fang Ping alone take on the peak of the 3 products. What if he was dead? That's because you're too weak and stupid. Go to the battlefield without a brain. It's just a martial artist. Everyone bowed their heads in frustration. At this time, Fang Ping opened his mouth, Teacher Tang. They are not to blame for the heads-up thing. It's my own request. At that time, there was no way. Smack! Tang Feng suddenly grabbed Fang Ping's ear. Then he tugged and said, you still have the face to speak for them. More than 300 people. You're the biggest problem. Say, where did you get from when you consume so much qi and blood? The sudden question overwhelmed Fang Ping. He hurriedly made up nonsense. Me, and me. Tang Seng's mouth was crooked. A drop of cold sweat slipped down Fang Ping's face. How do you explain it? Let's make up a reason to fool around. So he opened his mouth and explained that. If I don't digest the pill I eat, you can accumulate qi and blood in your body. I think it's more dangerous this time. I swallowed more than a dozen pills in advance. Tang Sung grabbed his arm with both hands, shouting that you are doing death. Took so many pills. Is not afraid of violence. Come with me for a checkup. I don't hear it. Fang Ping gritted his teeth and resisted, and I didn't check. It's my killer feature. People can't just ask. I have the right to confidentiality. Tang Feng was stunned for a moment, then let go of Fang Ping and turned to leave. Okay, I don't have to ask, but so many people saw it. You'd better have a perfect explanation. Otherwise, you're just waiting to be dragged into human experimentation. Fang Ping glanced around nervously. Don Lion is right. So many people have seen it. Next time, if a mentor asks me to perform live, swallow dozens of qi and blood pills in one go. Wouldn't I really be going to die violently? Then he grabbed his head with both hands, sweating. Now it's in trouble. Someone asked me how to explain it. At this time, an officer from the military department walked over. Fang Ping had someone looking to answer the phone. Fang Ping was taken aback. Why doesn't the phone call my phone? So he took out his phone and looked at it. Tears flowed down his face in an instant. Okay, do a quest. The loot didn't get much. Fold a mobile phone. Fang Ping stood up and followed the personnel of the military department. Anyway, call this side at this time. Who could it be? What an old king. It turned out to be a quasi-grandmaster. Lao Wang said lightly that I was born like this. No way at this time. Fang Ping was talking to Lu Fengru on the phone. Hey, I'm Fang Ping. Mr. Lu, why are you here? Lu Fengru said, you killed a third-grade peak. Fang Ping was taken aback. I didn't expect my record to spread so quickly. He wiped his nose and said, oops. It's all taught by Mr. Lu well. Lu Fengru scolded angrily, get out. You've stuck the other party with hundreds of dollars. Knife white card. What is the explosion of qi and blood? Do you take everyone for fools? Then he said in a solemn tone, you can restore your qi and blood without taking pills. It's a trait that only a grandmaster has. Xia Samping can also do it. Bone marrow if the spirit benefits ordinary people. Can't do these 2 points. Just wait to be caught and taken to the lab for testing. Fang Ping was so frightened that his face twitched. Laboratory tests. Then he said tremblingly, teacher, I don't want to go to the lab. You won't die without help. What is bone marrow like mercury? Lu Fengru exhaled a long breath. Bone marrow, such as mercury. It only happens when you break through the grandmaster. 90% of the brittle bones. Whole body metamorphosis. The bone marrow is tempered in 1 day. Prefabrication. From then on, the whole body can absorb energy from space. Qi and blood are constant. You should be fine with mental power. The key is to solve the tempering of the bone marrow. Fang Ping was taken aback. Bone marrow can also be tempered. He hurriedly opened the system to check. The system didn't give me the option to refine my bone marrow. Lu Fengru said, I know of a man who was born with bone marrow. You might be able to ask the other side. Ping was taken aback. Born with bone marrow like bones. Which big guy is it? Lu Fengru replied to the quasi-grandmaster of southern Xinjiang. The screen turns. Fang Ping came to a bubble tea shop in southern Xinjiang. Wang Jinyang said lightly, there is no way to temper it. I was born like this. It hasn't been refined. Fang Ping's head slammed down on the table. If that's over, you don't really have to go to the lab. Wang Jinyang smiled slightly, although I have not refined bone marrow. But it can provide an idea. It's up to you to see if you can afford it. Fang Ping frowned slightly and said, let's take a look. Wang Jinyang said to cultivate with energy stones. Energy stones are released to the limit. The energy will liquefy, and the liquefied energy is able to penetrate the bones, deep into the bone marrow. 2 drops of cold sweat broke out on Fang Ping's face. Brother Wang, do you know how expensive energy stones are? Wang Jinyang said lightly, 1 million grams. Fang Ping was speechless for a while. Can you not be so calm? Wang Jinyang went on to say that this is not the hardest. The liquefied energy can enter the bone marrow, though. But it won't stay. He will give preference to skulls that have not been tempered. There is only one solution. That is to use mental power to pull. Fang Ping said that it is still more difficult to industrialize energy. Wang Jinyang was stunned. Fang Ping said, my spiritual power is comparable to that of a grandmaster. Haha, Wang Jinyang disagreed. Fang Ping stood up suddenly. Really, he began to release his spiritual power. Wang Jinyang cut a drop of cold sweat on his forehead. The eyes have become beanie eyes. Fang Ping exerted his strength to feed, energetically unleashing mental power. The eyes were filled with countless red bloodshots. Suddenly, a subtle wisp of spiritual power gently flicked the tips of Wang Jinyang's hair. Wang Jinyang's mouth opened wide in an instant. "Stand up with a bang." Fang Ping said proudly that he replied this time. Wang Jinyang's brows furrowed. Touching his chin, he said, "How is this possible?" "But it's not impossible. After all, everybody has it." But Fang Ping looked at Wang Jinyang with a smug expression. Wang Jinyang grinned interestingly. "I believe your word. Half and half are kept. That's it. It should be okay to fool around with this matter." Then Fang Ping raised his hand. "Ask Brother Wang quietly. I heard you're about to be a grandmaster." Wang Jinyang was stunned for a moment. "You're sponsoring me now for 3 or 5 billion. I feel hopeful." Fang Ping coughed dryly. "Pick up the milk tea and drink the tea." Drinking tea, Fang Ping pondered. Now the method is there. It is possible that the rough is a regulated resource. Expensive and hard to get. Hey, if only the system could be more reliable. That's right. Fang Ping suddenly had an idea. The wealth value is upgraded in millions and tens of millions. Then the next upgrade will be 100 million. There is no option to quench the strands to 100%. You're still forcing me to make money. Let wealth go straight to the enjoyment. You have money to try more. The screen turns. Fang Ping came to the Demon Dance Logistics Department. He pulled out the damaged Phoenix knife and alloy boots. The quality of Teacher Li's Demon Dance weapons is too poor. Old Man Li said lightly. You and the peak of the 3 products have a hard time, and then say that the weapons are too bad. You want to face no? Fang Ping smiled awkwardly at the teacher. You know that too. For my sake. The maintenance fee is not available. Then he lifted his clothes with a sudden. You see, I'm hurt like this. Treatment also costs a lot of money. Old Man Li opened one eye, quietly glanced at it. Then he said that the Phoenix mouth knife can still be repaired. Boots can only be recycled as maintenance costs. Fang Ping hurriedly said, Teacher, I bought the boots for 40 credits. The repair cost will be more than 1 million. Old Man Li replied, How to settle accounts? Now it's in tatters. 2 lines of clear tears flowed down Fang Ping's face. But Old Man Li didn't give him a chance to speak again. Shame or shame. So a staff member came over, put a Phoenix mouth knife and alloy. The boots went down. At this time, Fang Ping said with a smile on his face, Teacher Li, has the school considered setting up an online shopping platform? Old Man Li was stunned. This kid is really a business wizard. The boy relied on his 3-inch tongue, succeeded in convincing the Demon Warrior Dean, successfully obtained the qualification to build a campus online shopping platform. At this time, Fang Ping was talking to Old Man Li in the Demon Martial Arts Logistics Department. Old Man Li asked suspiciously. Fang Ping explained that everyone is shopping online now. We dancers also need to keep up with the times. Accident, we have to go back to school every time we exchange resources. It's troublesome. Then he touched his head and smiled. If I build an online shopping platform for the back office for free, I'll take care of the delivery. The school will not support it. Old Man Li's eyebrows are won by you. Fang Ping hurriedly raised his hand and did not hide it from the teacher. I started a delivery company, specialized in running errands for people. The school doesn't have to pay a penny of manpower. I got it all. Old Man Li pointed at Fang Ping angrily and said, I kind of get it. You're here to hit the idea of school resources. It's not like you're trying to make a fortune and run away. Fang Ping said with a frightened face, How dare I? There are so many grandmasters in the school. Then he pretended to be sad and said that my family was ordinary. It's just thinking about earning some errands from students. Now e-commerce platforms are just emerging. It is a great opportunity for development. It's not easy for my company to run until now. And he was thinking about it in his heart. At that time, The delivery fee will be set at 100 yuan. The dancers are all rich people. Surely not blinking. Old Man Li closed his eyes and thought. Fang Ping is strong and trustworthy. Hurry up and pestle the counter with both hands. Then he said to the teacher, I know what you're worried about. The resources of the school are in the millions. In the early stage, I only did on-campus delivery. I can compensate for what was lost. And even the follow-up development plan has been thought of. Once the platform is up and running, the school allocates the credit quota of the platform. Start the credit lending mechanism. Let students spend in advance. The corners of Old Man Li's mouth lifted. How to say it? Fang Ping explained that the students were too stressed. 1 point for credits, 1 point for use. If you practice slowly, you will slow down. Is a C-class weapon good? Is the high-grade pill good? Energy-based instrument pools. As long as you borrow credits, you can use them in advance. The wool comes out of the sheep. Supplies from the logistics department. Most of them were brought back from the floor by students. By borrowing, everyone can strengthen in advance. Bring back something of higher value from the basement. When it comes to high quality, it is also low. The credits owed are not easy. Fully mobilize everyone's enthusiasm. This is a virtuous circle. And you think about it. People with mortgages are not working harder. Old Man Li's eyes widened suddenly. It makes sense. We older generations of dancers don't understand the routines of e-commerce. It doesn't seem like a bad thing to let the young man toss and toss. So Old Man Li asked, What's in it for you? Fang Ping shook his head. The righteousness and awe-inspiring expression of me. I am not good. Serve. The corners of Old Man Li's mouth twitched. Fang Ping said tentatively that he might charge a little interest. As an administrative fee for the platform. The corners of Old Man Li's mouth raised. You're a good kid. But it's too big. I'm afraid I can't decide on my own. So the picture turned. Old Man Li took Fang Ping to the dean's office. Fang Ping put his hands behind his back. Stand straight. Dean Huang, I can assure you. Perform the magic dance according to my plan. Soon it will be able to surpass Kaneki. Huang Jing said lightly. The tone is not small. Feasible is feasible. But you're too weak. You should still focus on cultivation. I expected you to say that. So Fang Ping said seriously, Dean. Doing business can be a thorn. Stimulates mental growth. Huang Jin and Old Man Li's pupils contracted at the same time. Fang Ping didn't talk nonsense when he saw this. Directly start unleashing mental power. A wisp of spiritual power slowly floated out from Fang Ping's body. He flicked the tip of Huang Jing's hair slightly. The next second, Huang Jing stood up suddenly. The power of qi and blood exploded in an instant. Chao Fang Ping was directly shocked and flew out upside down. There was a thud and a thud against the wall behind him, then sit on the couch with a butt. This is too different from Lao Wang's reaction. He is worthy of being a grandmaster. Qi and blood are as if they don't need money. Huang Jing smiled as a great sage. It's kind of interesting. A third-rank martial artist can actually perceive spiritual power. Old Man Li also frowned. Could this be the political governor and the people in business? The reason for the fast breakthrough. Huang Jing's eyes were slightly collared. Whether you are in business or in politics or crying on the ground, it's all an experience. Keep your brain active all the time. Perhaps this will explain it. Why did Principal Wu's mental power break through so quickly? So Old Man Li said seriously, Dean, or I'll take care of a few of the companies in the demon martial arts. Huang Jing turned around and said Lao Li on the shoulders of Old Man Li. You better save some money for the school. The assets of the magic dance. It's all earned by everyone's hard work little by little. It's not easy. Old Man Li's eyes turned black in an instant. His forehead twitched slightly. Fang Ping covered his mouth. Tears burst into laughter. Dean Huang is really ruthless in striking people. Huang Jing confirmed again. Fang Ping, you're sure? I feel my mental power because of doing business. Fang Ping touched his head and said, really? When business is not doing well, it has a headache. I'm trying to figure it out too. And the spirit was all gathered. In time, I felt a trace of spiritual power. Fang Ping felt a burst of joy in his heart. The three-rank dancer has mental power. Everything is in front of us. No matter what I say, it's fine. Huang Jin's eyes lit up. Then sit back in your seat. You can sit, but I don't recommend charging interest to students. The essence of borrowing credits is for the advancement of students. Fang Ping opened his mouth. The interest is not much. It's about telling everyone, you can't get it for nothing. Pay off. Huang Jing raised his eyebrows. This is in line with the definition of the five. Then he finalized the decision. Then do as you say. Build an on-campus online shopping platform. The school will give you a credit of 100,000 credits. 90% of the interest goes to the school to cover the loss. 10% as an administrative fee for your platform. Thank you, Dean. Fang Ping bowed calmly. In fact, a group of people who were excited in their hearts were negotiated. 100,000 credits. You can earn at least tens of thousands of credits a year. Interest of 10% is worth tens of millions. But Huang Jing continued, but before that, you also have to meet the school's conditions and requirements. The strongest one vouches for you. Bear the risk of loss of goods. Second, outsiders can't enter the Magic 5 delivery. Fang Ping was embarrassed in an instant. It was really difficult to make money. Emperor Jing cried. The time was set. Time is running out. We have to hurry up and improve our strength. Earn wealth value. At this time, Fang Ping, an old man, Li left the dean's office. Fang Ping clasped his hands together and said with a smile, Teacher Li, thank you so much. Old man Li said lightly, don't be in a hurry to thank me. Lu Fengru will also vouch for you. That's what happens. Fang Ping drew a drop of cold sweat on his face. Teacher Lu's side should be fine. The key is that the school is different and the school personnel come in. Then you can only find students to deliver it. Hire 5 students. That's how expensive that is. Old man Li squeezed out his eyes and looked at Fang Ping. Silly, I said you have a good brain. It's really unpretentious. Fang Ping was stunned. You have a way. Old man Li said. You set up a club in the name of martial arts exchanges. Let's just say that there is an opportunity to contact the seniors of the 4th or 5th grades. Even the mentor of 6 pins. Don't look at the magic dance, there are many talents. In fact, many new students are not. It's the dancers who don't care about the delivery fee. What they lack is a high-frequency mentor. Now you can almost learn something by running an errand. Look at the club again. You are the strongest freshman who founded it. You see, they haven't joined in yet. Fang Ping's mouth opened wide in an instant. The old man is so insidious. I'm still thinking about paying my salary. This even helped me save money. Fang Ping touched his head. Hey laughed and said yes. Is it appropriate to do this? Old man Li said. In fact, you can also help your lagging classmates. It's up to you to do it or not. So Fang Ping put an evil smile on his face. I'm the strongest as a freshman. It really should be for the students. Create a good atmosphere for cultivation. At this time, several school buses drove up. Tang Feng stepped off the school bus. When I looked up, I saw Fang Ping and Old Man Li together. Immediately raised his hand in annoyance. Hooked his finger squarely. Come here. Fang Ping looked helpless. But he could only walk over obediently. Tang Feng clasped his hands in front of his chest. Reprimanded who let you leave early. Unorganized and undisciplined. Fu Chanding and Yang Xiaoman secretly gloated on the sidelines. Tang Feng continued. Don't always pester Li Lao if you have nothing to do. I've heard that you often take advantage of the back office. What should everyone do if they ask Li Lao so much in the future? Fang Ping retorted, I have a lot of trading. This is called wholesale price. Tang Feng said that couldn't make it difficult for Li Lao. Prices specified by the school. It's not something that Li Lao can change alone. Tell you the truth. Those shortfalls of yours are all subsidized by Mr. Li's personal subsidy. Fang Ping's eyes widened suddenly. I couldn't speak. Tang Feng turned around and waved his hand. Know this for yourself. Then shouted loudly that everyone gathered in the training building. Fang Ping stood stunned. Suddenly there was a ding. Fang Ping took out his phone and looked at it. It turned out that the 5 million transferred to him by Chen Yunxi arrived. Chen Yunxi has a small mouth. Slightly pursed his eyes, he picked up his mobile phone and looked at Fang Ping. Thank you. Fang Ping just raised his head and replied lightly. In the training building, Tang Feng announced the results of everyone's action. Zhao Lei 130 points. Wu Qian 85 points. Fu Changning 120 points. Fang Ping 800 points. Yang Xiaoman 95. The basic score of this assessment is 100. More than half of them are not qualified. There is no need to make excuses. As an elite student of Magic 5. But it's a shame. Of course, yes. The attack was completed, and the task of encirclement and suppression was completed. The award points are 25% of the assessment score. There is no reward for those who do not meet the base score. Fang Ping raised his hand and shouted. There are too few teachers. My 800 points suddenly became 200. Only one backlist can be offset. Tang Feng said. These awards are an extra feature of the school. It is not necessary to give. It is an obligation to deal with cults. Don't make everything too utilitarian. Fang Ping said anxiously. That's not going to be. Let's not be short of our own consumption. All are students. It's all about tasks to earn credits for cultivation. If you reward students who are not satisfied with the basic score in this way, it may seriously affect the cultivation in the future. Not everyone has a good situation at home. The burden is so big to consume. I hope the school can be considerate of our teachers. Immediately, he kicked Zhao Lei next to him. Zhao Lei turned his head. Why are you Fang Ping giving him a look? Don't look at it now, don't fight for it. Wait to drink the northwest wind. Thereupon, Zhao Lei also raised his hand and said that there are indeed too few teachers. The spoils of war were not shared by anyone. Someone took the lead. The other students also began to talk about it. Yes, there is a lack of resources. Subsequent cultivation is more difficult. My family can't make ends meet. I can't afford to buy healing pills. How to get into the ground if it goes on like this? Crying, Tang Sung raised his hand and shouted. Well, it's all quiet. Then he sighed helplessly. I know. All students will be rewarded with 50% of their assessment scores. The members instantly smiled. Thank you, teacher. Fu Changning put his arm around Fang Ping's shoulders and gave a thumbs up. But Tang Feng went on to talk about the students who were dissatisfied with the basic score. More than 3 second-grade tasks must be carried out within this month. Don't experience life and death too much. You can't grow. Fang Ping's brows furrowed. Has the time for Mr. Tang to enter the cave been determined? Tang Feng said that he entered the cave in June. The rest of the time goes on tasks. Learn to understand the human geography of the caves. Types of cave creatures. Classes will start tomorrow. Fang Ping frowned slightly. There is still more than a month. Time is running out. We have to hurry up and improve our strength. Earn wealth value. This kid has a lot of tone. Dare to challenge the president of the martial arts club in his freshman year. At this time, Fang Ping was recruiting members on campus. A chubby man walked over. Fang Ping asked, "What's your name?" Chubby replied to Guo Sheng. "You're not a dancer yet, are you? Don't you know me?" "Well, our teacher said, you're one of our strong, brainy geniuses." Fang Ping coughed embarrassedly. Subsequently, he took out an application form for joining the group and handed it to Guo Sheng. "I'm going to start a club now. Recruit some like-minded comrades to fight together. Do you want to join?" A drop of cold sweat was drawn on Guo Sheng's face. The school clubs only accept dancers. We non-dancers don't have anyone to deal with. There won't be a fee. So he said with a look of embarrassment. Although I would love to join, but if there is a fee, that's it. I don't even have enough money for cultivation right now. Fang Ping covered his head, said helplessly, Hey, I'm this kind of person. Then he stood up abruptly. Say it out loud, classmates. Listen to me. The surrounding students all turned their heads to look at Fang Ping. In Magic 5, dancers are considered to be real Magic 5 students. For new students, being a dancer is not easy. The 5 difficulties are even more difficult for the weak. I can enter the Magic 5, who is not the pride of the sky. Why we are making slow progress. I think about it a lot. On the one hand, it is because of the poverty of the family. Insufficient resources. On the other hand, there are no high-quality mentors. Gao Pin's parents pointed out. Then he jumped onto the table, burst out with the power of weeping blood. Shout out to all students. I ask you, are you willing? Willing to judge the graduation of martial artists? Is it a lifetime to be left behind? Guo Sheng responded loudly. I want to be a dancer. A dancer who can be recognized by everyone. A female student said that although she was unwilling. But what can we do? Fang Ping's eyes were as simple as relying on others, rather than relying on himself. We must be self-reliant. Our Ping family background. Rely on your own efforts to become the strongest of the new students. Now I'm in the middle of the 3rd grade. At the end of my freshman year, I challenged the president of the martial arts club. Immediately, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, I dare to say. I can also do the position of president of the martial arts society. The surrounding students instantly talked about it. At this time, a senior upstairs disdainfully said that it was ridiculous. President Zhang is a 4th-grade force. I don't weigh my own strength. Just pretend to be there. Fang Ping said with his hands on his hips. Senior, you can't. It doesn't mean that we can't do it. The senior gritted his teeth for a while. The corners of Fang Ping's mouth were unconvinced. Let's go through 2 tricks. The senior shouted angrily. Come and come. Who is afraid of whom? A person next to him hurriedly grabbed him. Forget it, you're only at the pinnacle of the 2nd grade. Don't be ashamed. Fang Ping lowered his head. Clench your fists. I come from an ordinary background, but I never gave up on my dreams. Sooner or later, I will be able to do it one day. Today, I am here to set up the plain society. Regardless of origin, regardless of the realm, all are welcome. Let's discuss the dance newspaper. Share experiences. The club will provide opportunities for everyone. Get in touch with high-quality seniors and mentors. I just hope that someday, everyone can become a clan. Then he picked up an application form to join the group. If you want to come and fill out the form, you can register. If you don't want it, don't force it. Only 100 people will be recruited. The surrounding students instantly swarmed up. I want to join. I'm going to join in too. The president gave me a watch. Yang Xiaoman on the side hugged his hands in front of his chest, said with an angry face. He was still in a poor family. I bought his 20 million pills before. Zhao Xuemei looked incredulous. Another 20 million were sold. Yang Xiaoman replied, Yes, that's a really capable guy. This semester, I made $40 or $50 million by selling pills. Fu Chengding stepped forward. The corners of his mouth are raised. This plain society. Shall we join? Yang Xiaoman said suspiciously. Why are we joining? A drop of cold sweat slipped on Fu Chengding's face. You want us to know Fang Ping? Will we do anything that is not good? The 2 women were stunned at the same time. For a while, it was impossible to refute. On the other side, in the dean's office, Huang Jing drank tea and said when he first entered school, You say he's not radical enough. As a result, he is now radical and shocks you. Whoever is a freshman dares to challenge the president of the Martial Arts Society. Tang Feng touched his head in a hurry. Why did he suddenly want to start a society? Huang Jing said with a smile that he wanted to build an online shopping platform for the logistics department. However, the school does not allow outsiders to come in and deliver it. Do you think he'll deliver it himself? A drop of cold sweat slipped on Tang Feng's head. I said, this kid is so righteous and awe-inspiring. I thought, he really thinks about these non-dancer students. Huang Jing said, no one can say what the future holds. If only he had achieved something. It may not be that it will not give back to the members. I was really fooled by him. It's also that I'm not smart enough. More experience in school. It's also better than being fooled to death in a cave. Tang Feng crossed his hands on his waist. Laughing too. Schools do need people who are a little sinister. Just like Principal Wu. Huang Jing choked Tang Lion with a mouthful of water. Your brain isn't confused. Beware of the recruitment location of the Jiaozuo Plains Society. Fang Ping spread his hands. Enough people laughed. If you haven't joined, you won't have a chance in the near future. Then he continued. In the evening I will have a club meeting. Members pay attention to text messages. Then everyone dispersed. At this time, Fu Changding and a few people came over. Why didn't Fang Ping let us join the Plains Society? The Plains Society was officially established. Thousands of high-rise buildings rise from the ground. Sooner or later, Huagua's martial arts resources have to change hands from my side. At this time, Fu Changding was holding the table with both hands. Said angrily, why didn't Fang Ping let us join the club? Fang Ping said flatly, you don't meet my requirements. Fu Changding refused to accept any request. I think you're basically a dancer. Aren't we strong? Yang Xiaomin also said that we joined. Riding a horse gives you a facade. Zhao Xiumei clasped her hands together. Said earnestly, we've been consuming too much lately. If you have a way to make money, take us with you, too. Fang Ping was silent for a moment and then said, it's okay to accept you into the club. But you have to contribute to the community. No problem. The three of them answered loudly in unison. However, Yang Xiaomin immediately asked hesitantly, etc. What do you mean by effort? Fang Ping answered the 5 doubts of the new students. And then kick the gyms. It's up to you to come forward and solve the trouble. The three of them looked at each other for a while. Fang Ping saw this. Raise your hand and smile and smile. If you feel embarrassed, forget it. When I didn't say, the three of them hurriedly replied. Master, who said it was embarrassing. It's not hard at all. A black line was drawn on Fang Ping's forehead. Hey, door-to-door labor. It's not okay if you don't accept it. The screen turns. In the large conference room of the Demon Martial Instrument, all the members of the Plains Club are gathered here. Fang Ping stood up and said, classmates, tonight is the first general meeting of our club. There are 108 people in this room, including me. The future is the 108 elders of the Plains Society. Dreams must be had. It is not always necessary to be deceived. Not much nonsense. I will now publish one. Good news. After my efforts, the logistics department will start the online shopping mode. It is operated by our Hirakusha Society. Among them, 50 members are required to be willing to contribute. Help with deliveries. A boy said, isn't that the delivery of the courier? Fang Ping said, please you do courier. Can you go to the dancer's house every day to deliver the goods? The crowd was talking. That's right. It seems that it can't. Fang Ping continued. Who you ship to? They are all high-quality seniors and mentors in the school. Normally, you can't get into the teacher's dormitory. Don't underestimate this opportunity. Who's going to deliver something to the mentor on that day? Favored by the mentor. Send you some rare resources. Do you think it's possible to meet it? The senior asked some doubts about martial arts. Will he refuse to answer you? A boy raised his hand and said, but there is also a case. What if the tutor doesn't take a fancy to us? Fang Ping raised his hand and smiled. In case some of the students are really so unlucky, didn't get guidance and benefits. Don't worry. I'm here to promise. Just do it well. The community will be able to give you the opportunity to buy pills at a discount. Others asked for 30 credits of pills. Maybe you only need 27 points. There was a lot of talking. So much less than 3 points. It seems to be pretty good. It seems that this club has added the right one. Fang Ping pretended to sigh hard and said, "Hey, if I don't say it, you have no idea how hard it is." Before that, the dean fears the loss. Students who participate are also requested. Each person pays a deposit of 5 million. It was I who asked the brigade instructor at the peak of the 6 products to vouch for us. The money was waived, so we have to do a good job. I can't embarrass Mentor Lou. After that, the platform will also launch a credit lending system at the same time. Lend credits to everyone to improve their strength. Yang Xiaoman said. Fang Ping in the form of loans. Won't the interest rate be high? Fang Ping looked at Yang Xiaoman, called the president Yang Xiaoman's forehead for a while. The muscles are beating. The corners of Fang Ping's mouth raised, and he had to pay interest for borrowing credits. But as long as we are members of the plain society, there will be ultra-low interest benefits. Borrow 100 credits. You only need to pay 1 extra credit a month. Yang Xiaoman laughed and said, "Okay, you can push for new policies on breast milk." Fang Ping pretended to be embarrassed and lowered his head. The strength of the individual does not mean anything. I want everyone to be stronger together. The 3 of Fuchanding quietly discussed. Look what I say. It is definitely good to follow Fang Ping. Look at you. Fang Ping leaned his hands on the table. Denote. In this way, I have explained the work and welfare of the club. If there is one who wants to quit, you can leave now. There was silence. No one spoke. So Fang Ping smiled and said, "Okay. Now begin to arrange the duties of the association." Zhou Yuehong served as the director of the office of the association. 50 people are selected to be responsible for processing orders. Guo Sheng served as the head of the external relations department. Fu Changding, who is responsible for distribution, serves as vice president, responsible for the communication between clubs. Zhao Xuemei served as the head of the foreign operations department. Yang Xiaoman served as minister of supervision, responsible for the assessment. Each department then evaluates the members. Give rewards. Yang Xiaoman looked up at Fang Ping. What about you? Fang Ping said righteously. I'm in charge of the big picture, of course. Fight for the benefits of everyone. It's hard, though, but I am duty-bound. I'm going to let everybody know. The strong are strong enough to work hard. Instead of booster, the audience instantly ignited. The president was right. We just have to work hard enough. Can surpass those second ancestors. Yes, we have to rely on our own efforts. Yang Xiaoman and the others were speechless for a while. These people didn't know Fang Ping at all. The corners of Fang Ping's mouth raised, and he waited to collect the money next. You have to start cultivating on your own side. Powerful enough. Only in the community can you have the right to speak. Thousands of high-rise buildings rise from the ground. Sooner or later, what was martial arts resources are all capital. Gotta change hands from me. Nanny enters the cave. There is even a chance to directly break through to become a grandmaster. At this time, Fang Ping was gritting his teeth, kneeling on the ground naked. The muscles and veins of the whole body kept vibrating, sweat dripping down in big drops. Fang Ping secretly scolded Old Man Li as a liar in his heart. He also said that he had eaten the rat pill. The body can withstand the effectiveness of the 5 grades broken body pill, but I didn't say it would hurt so much. Fang Ping gritted his teeth and endured the severe pain. I was hell-bent on getting stronger, and I had to endure torture. It can't be true, in order to save the world in a ridiculous way. No, I'm not that great. All I do is live for myself. Live for your family. Suffer today. It's worth it more than being powerless later. After a while, Fang Ping sat on the ground, breathing heavily. The drawbacks of quick, brittle bones are obvious. There is a period of adaptation after each quenching. He struggled to his feet. Time is running out. The best cultivation plan is to improve your physique first. recycling system, temper all the vertebrae at once, shorten the adaptation period. Then he turned on the system. Since the three-product system, every 1% of the tempering costs 30,000 fortune. It costs 1.8 million to complete the refining of a whole block. Now the wealth is worth 32.6 million. Cash, 24 million. It costs 40 million to quench the remaining 26 vertebrae. It's enough for the time being. The wealth value must exceed 100 million to upgrade. But you can't keep it to improve your strength. The Forbidden Cave can save life even more. War Simulation Center, Building 2, South District of Magic Dance. A teacher. The students are being taught the geography of the cave. The entrance to the cavern does not correspond to the real world. The caverns are huge. No one can get in yet. After the cave, come out through another entrance. To the south of the entrance to the demon capital cave is the sea. 1,000 kilometers to the north is a collection of cave creatures. East-west span 5,000 km. There are a total of 13 castles. Fang Ping stroked his chin and said, "Other words, there is half a hua in the cave of the demon capital alone." The NUS teacher said yes. Again, this is the result of our incomplete probing. Fang Ping was taken aback. This was too big. Is there a sun in the caves? How do we orient ourselves in the cave? The teacher said, the crypt is made up of an object that resembles an energy stone, acts as a function of the sun. It doesn't have a sunrise or sunset. The alternation of day and night all occurs in a split second. Some of the common sense of humanity does not work in the crypt. Renlu can only rely on the sand table and map we made. A drop of cold sweat was drawn on Fang Ping's face. How to remember this? The mountains and the trees all grow about the same. Fu Chanding was secretly amused. Fang Ping is a genius, though. But there are still weaknesses. Then he patted Fang Ping's shoulder. You're a road idiot, Fang Ping said forcibly. How can it be? Fu Chanding said with a smile that he remembered. Be sure to act with us. If you get lost, you won't come back. Fang Ping glanced at it. I remember that tomorrow, it seems like there will be a practical class. Do you want to practice with me? The teacher went on to defend against the invasion of the cave. We all set up a colony at the entrance to the cave, and the closest city to our stronghold. It's Tianmen City. Tianmen City has a population of 2,200,000 troops. Among them, there are as many as 20,000 dancers, and the resident dancers of our Demon City caves. But there are fewer than 5,000. One of the students said, with 5,000 of us, we can compete with the city. It seems that they are not very strong either. Wrong. The teacher's eyes sparkled, not a confrontation. It's barely defensive. The other party has suffered losses. Don't dare to attack easily. We can't destroy Tianmen City unless there is strength against them. The alliance of 13 cities. 70 years ago, Kyoto gathered more than 40 grandmasters. I want to exterminate the Kyoto cave. The result leads to the terrifying powerhouse in the depths of the cave. As a result, 16 grandmasters were killed in battle. The students' faces instantly became solemn. One of the students said, Teacher, is there any hope for us? Can you only defend? The teacher smiled at the watch. Don't be too pessimistic. Our future is bright. In recent years, there have been more and more grandmasters in our country. That's why I've been on the defensive. Give humans time to get stronger. Keep the cave book in your hands and mind. Go to the cave to find energy stones, plants, and medicinal herbs. Hunt cave creatures. Gabaumans. Especially energy stones. Very versatile. Scientific research on weapons manufacturing, or simply as a monotherapy. Energy stones are divided into two types by purity. Basic energy stones and cultivation energy stones. Only 1 gram can be purified from 50 grams of base energy stone. Cultivating energy stones. Energy stones with impurities cannot be used for cultivation. The price of energy stone of different purity is also different. You don't have to worry about your subsequent cultivation. There are very few areas currently explored by humans. The probability of finding something good is extremely high. There may even be a chance. Directly break through to become a grandmaster. What everyone was amazed. Directly break through to become a grandmaster. The students immediately talked about it. There's such a good thing in the caves. I haven't heard of it before. If only you could break through in an instant. That's pretty cool too. The corners of the teacher's mouth twitched. This is a secret of Huagua. When the strength is reached, it is natural to know more. Of course, I won't tell you the details. You're not qualified. If you want to know, try to get stronger. The students were instantly full of confidence again. Said loudly, with high morale, I'm going into the cave to kill the enemy. I'm going to go into the cave and kill him and turn him upside down. Fang Ping snapped and closed the cave map arrow. The corners of his mouth are raised. This thing really needs to be studied. You might be able to find a few thousand credits of items. Let the wealth value directly exceed 100 million. At this time, a student suddenly rushed in a hurry. Dear students and teachers, the teachers who helped Lan Siwei are back. All the students gathered at the gate. The screen turns. Everyone came to the gate of the Demon Martial Arts. The Demon Martial Arts School, at the pinnacle of the 8 pins. The elder man stood in the middle on crutches. Huang Jin and Tang Feng stood on both sides and saluted to welcome the martyrs. At this time, several buses and ambulances were parked at the Muva gate. Paramedic carried on stretchers. An injured man gets out of the ambulance. Several mentors were also sobbing with their urns. Get off the bus. An older mentor, walking in front of the hospital with heavy steps. Raise your right fist and say loudly, this battle is worthy of the mission. Kill the army of the Rumway Caves. 6 products, 3 people. There are 11 people in Wupin, 27 people in Sipin. Raise the prestige of our country. Raise the power of my demons. I died in battle. None of the 6 mentors retreated. As he spoke, tears couldn't help but burst out of his eyes. The fisherman's face was gloomy. A moment later, he stepped forward. He patted the mentor on the arm, comforting softly, it's good to come back. Just come back. The Demon 5 students all looked sad. At this time, the fishman waved his right hand vigorously. Salute and greet the falconry. There was a bang. All personnel clenched their right hands into fists. Quickly lift to the side of your head. The fishman then said that he would be buried in the falconry shrine. Demon Dance supports the falconry family. After saying that, the fishman stomped on the ground with the soles of his feet and flew away. Seeing this, Huang Jing and Tang Feng glanced at each other. The two nodded. The wild moon followed in the sky. The white hare sighed. Today's demon capital caves. There will be a war. The old headmaster has long been riddled with injuries. I'm afraid the injuries will get worse and worse. At this time, Chen Yunxi suddenly shouted and rushed out. Teacher! Chen Yunxi threw himself into the arms of Bai Ruashi opposite. Bai Ruashi hugged her and said comfortingly, Teacher, it's okay. And Chen Yunxi has already cried with red eyes. Your hand. I saw that Bai Ruashi's left hand was gone. Looked at Bai Ruashi's arm. Fang Ping and the others fell silent. Then, there was a loud shout, and suddenly Bai Ruashi came back alive. What are you crying about? Lu Fengru walked over. Life and death are sometimes as simple as that. Someday if I die on the ground, you don't need these useless tears to cry. If you have the ability, you will cry calmly. Avenge us! Fang Ping nodded silently. Bai Ruashi looked at Lu Fengru Yunxi. I'll leave it to you later. Lu Fengru said to Chen Yunxi, your teacher's inner mansion has been hit hard. In the best case, it takes 2 years to recover. I can't give you martial arts instruction anymore. Then he turned his head to look at Bai Ruashi. If you want me to take him, it's fine. But I'm not going to be as protective as you are. If it weren't for the delay of that month. You're in the 6th grade. You won't get hurt this time. Fang Ping said in surprise that teacher Bai had gone out on a mission before. You've been protecting us. Bairuashi was even more sad to say this. I'm the one who has caused you. Bairuashi comforted, don't think about it. Freshmen go on a mission. The school will send someone to protect it. What's more, several of you are all elite students of the demon martial arts. Teacher, you said this deliberately. It is to stimulate your progress. Lu Fengru closed her eyes and snorted. Bairuashi smiled. You are no longer new students. Be careful yourself later. Subsequently, he patted Chunyunshi's arm and said, okay. Let's all go back. Teacher Lu and I have to go to the cemetery. After speaking, Lu Fengru took Bairuashi and left. Looked at the two who left. Fang Ping fell into deep thought. Is this the crypt? This is where the dancers belong. Fu Changding said angrily that they should all be killed. They are today. No familiar classmates have died in the basement. Maybe soon they will see it. Maybe it's yourself who dies. Over the years, there are too many people dead. Many mentors in mind. All that is left is hatred and the idea of becoming stronger. Tonight's demon dance. Sleepless nights. Nanny 1,000 credits. Mr. Lu is really interesting this time. At this time, Fang Ping, Zhao Xuemei, and Chun Yunxi came to Lu Fengru's dormitory. Lu Fengru said sternly Fang Ping. The middle section of the third product. Zhao Lei and Fu Changding have also entered the middle of the second grade long ago. Yu Chun Yunxi. 199 calories of the dancer who broke through. There is no shortage of resources at home. Until now, it is just approaching the middle of the second grade. If it weren't for Bairuashi, I'm not going to want you to be such a piece of shit. Chun Yunxi lowered his head. The small mouth is pursed. Fang Ping coughed dryly twice. Then rub your hands together and smile at the teacher. Shall we have an apprenticeship banquet or something? Lu Fengru replied lightly. Okay. Lu Fengru went on to say that she would withdraw her shares at the end of this month. Less than 100 pieces. You can go back to your Chin family. Chun Yunxi said yes and turned to leave. Lu Fengru looked at Zhao Xuemei. Strive to reach the pinnacle of the second rank before entering the cave. Sell the company to you. Uncle, didn't he always want it? Spent money to buy pills from me. Enter the energy room to cultivate. Zhao Xuemei said anxiously. But the teacher, that's what my dad left behind. Lu Fengru reprimanded Dao Chun. Do you want to cry like your father? Zhao Xuemei fell silent. Lu Fengru said that at this stage, in exchange for resources, the most important thing is to improve yourself. Your company is worth 1 or 200 million. It's enough for you to cultivate to the peak of the third grade. At that time, it will not be easy to get the company back. Fang Ping was taken aback. 1 or 200 million. Xuemei's family is so rich. This is going to open up the drugs. Zhao Xuemei lowered her head a little in frustration, and I knew. Then Lu Fengru turned her head to look at Fang Ping. And then what's going on with you? There has been no progress at all lately. Fang Ping was frightened. Touching his head embarrassedly, he said to the teacher, I used to improve fast. It all takes a lot of resources to do it. The Sampin pill used now costs 40 credits. It's too expensive, and then sighs helplessly. I don't have a company to sell. Next, I'm afraid I can only rely on my own cultivation to restore my qi and blood. Lu Fengru said lightly, Don't cry poor with me. You've invested tens of millions in a company. I still know. Fang Ping's eyes opened. Whispered, That company isn't worth a lot of money if it's sold now. Lu Fengru glanced at Fang Ping thoughtfully. Then, clubbing your chin, smiled and said, You don't always complain about me being unfair. Doesn't it give you benefits? Let's make a deal. Help me kill someone. I'll give you 1,000 credits. Fang Ping looked stunned. A 1,000 credits. No, teacher. You're almost a grandmaster. You can't kill me. Lu Fengru stood up, walked to the wall cabinet in the back. Take a scroll from above. I didn't let you kill it now. Wait until you have the ability to kill again. Fang Ping asked. The other party is a grandmaster. It's not that it's the pinnacle of the 6 grades. Lu Fengru handed the scroll to Fang Ping. It is the earth that weeps for mankind. No, yes. Promise to give you 1,000 credits now. If you die halfway, I won't ask you for an account. Fang Ping pondered. That's 1,000 credits. You have to do at least a few dozen tasks to earn it. Anyway, it's not killing right now. If you miss this village, you may not have this store. Lu Fengru saw that Fang Ping didn't say anything. Then you have to take back the scroll. If you don't say yes, forget it. Fang Ping hurriedly took the scroll. Promise yes. Fang Ping held the scroll excitedly. 1,000 credits in hand. Teacher Yu is really interesting this time. The screen turns. Fang Ping came to the Demon Martial Arts Logistics Department. Old Man Li operated the computer. 4-grade cave creature leather armor. A pair of C-grade alloy combat boots and gloves. A total of 7 edition credits. Come and get it in half a month. Fang Ping instantly felt that his whole person was hollowed out. I kind of understand that dancers are poor. 21 million, right? I pay in cash. Help me change 65 more first-class equipment bullets. Old Man Li was stunned. Why didn't this kid bargain today? So refreshing. Old Man Li brushed Fang Ping's 5 certificates. How did you get so many credits? Fang Ping happily threw the scroll to Old Man Li. I took a task from Tutor Li. 1,000 credits. Old Man Li looked at the volume. Axis on the content. Raise eyebrows. You take 1,000 credits. Fang Ping crossed his hands on his hips. Took it. Old Man Li replied lightly. Fang Ping asked hesitantly. Teacher, you don't know about this person. Old Man Li smiled and returned the scroll to Fang Ping. I know that Lu Fengru's enemy is also my enemy. Wine to the Lord of Tianmen City. Fang Ping was like a thunderbolt in an instant. The whole person was petrified. It's a big loss. Only 1,000 credits. Just hire me, the future 9-rank powerhouse, to make a move. So Fang Ping touched his head. He sighed helplessly. Teacher Yu is really vicious. I actually knew that I would soon be able to enter the 9-rank realm. Old Man Li was speechless for a while. It's a shame that you don't make body armor with such a cheeky skin. Fang Ping asked curiously. Teacher, you said that the Lord of Tianmen City is also your enemy. Old Man Li's eyes dimmed a little. 10 years ago, Lu Fengru's daughter was killed by the Tianmen City Lord in the cave. I was there at the time, but because of the disparity in strength, not only can it save people, even oneself. Fang Ping was shocked. Teacher Lu has a daughter. I've never heard him mention it. He looked at the scroll in his hand. A frown furrowed. Extreme character. Drowsiness turns out to be so. The loss of a loved one must be painful. Old Man Li changed the subject. Don't talk about that. What's going on with you lately? There's been no progress at all. Still tinkering with your platform. The teacher's eyesight is so good. Fang Ping touched his head in embarrassment. Recently, the progress of cultivation has indeed slowed down a bit. That's not going to work. So Old Man Li stood up. He patted Fang Ping on the shoulder. Come with me where I'll take you. Enter the 8 grades realm. The spirit is immortal. Become a true Vajra indestructible body. At this time, Old Man Li took Fang Ping to the Demon Martial Arts. Nanfeng District Research Institute. Several researchers. Experiments are being conducted on a cave human. Suddenly, his body trembled violently, and the trembling became more and more violent. One researcher frowned. Wrinkling is not good. He couldn't hold it anymore. As soon as the words fell, the human body of the cave of the underworld suddenly burst open. In the blink of an eye, the effort completely dissipated. Fang Ping outside the window looked at this scene, dumbfounded. What's going on? Old Man Li explained the cave. After the death of humanity on Earth, the flesh will be resurrected in the cave. What the cave kills brings back, but it doesn't disappear. We are also unable to explain this phenomenon at the moment. You can only explore slowly. Fang Ping asked suspiciously, what kind of research was this? A living person is needed. Old Man Li pointed to the door of his head. Study the relationship between mental power and the brain. Whether there is a carrier of mental power in the brain. Then his eyes lit up. In fact, doing these is also forced to be helpless. If the spiritual power, non-commissioned officer grandmaster, has achieved results, maybe it can make people feel mental power in advance. Let humans appear more. Gurus on research. Last encirclement mission. You're bursting with Vanka's blood. Someone in the military department brought it up. He said that he hoped to popularize it in the military. You might want to check here as well. Check what Fang Ping was so frightened that he instantly sweated profusely. Hurriedly explained the teacher. I was born with it. Can't check it out. Isn't that the same true for Wang Jinyang of Nanhua? Old Man Li said lightly that it was normal. You're hanging out. Fang Ping continued. My bone marrow is like a bone. Mental power captures energy. Support Old Man Li's answer. It's useless to tell me. The results of the examination are convincing. Then he glanced at the lab. But you don't have to worry too much. It won't kill you. Maybe just cut some meat, scrape some bones, and draw some brain marrow. No big deal. Fang Ping's eyes rolled in fright. Shivering, Old Man Li secretly smiled in his heart. Looking at me, I can't scare you to death. But he still said seriously, Demon Wu can withstand the pressure. But also let us see your worth. If someone has to dissect, you don't have the strength. It's useless for you to resist. Fang Ping's face solemnly agreed. After saying that, Old Man Li turned around and beckoned to go. Take you to see something else. The screen turns. Old Man Li led Fang Ping to a room. He leaned over the counter and looked curiously at the energy stones inside. This is the first time I've seen energy stone food. Old Man Li said, you can pick it up and feel it. Fang Ping cautiously picked up an energy stone, then released the mental power to perceive. The moment the spiritual power touches the energy stone, suddenly there was a thud. Fang Ping hurriedly withdrew his spiritual power. It's so dangerous, Old Man Li said in surprise. You're perceiving with mental power. Well, Old Man Li stroked his chin and said, that's right. Psychic power can detonate energy stones. So it makes you feel dangerous. Wait until you are more mentally strong. For example, the grandmaster. It is even possible to predict crises in advance. Fang Ping was taken aback. I didn't expect that spiritual power would have so many uses. So he asked the teacher curiously, what is the standard of that grandmaster? Old Man Li explained that the skull began to be refined, able to exert mental power, combined with the release of qi and blood, can be called a grandmaster. The middle three grades do not quench the skull, because the skull needs to combine qi, blood, and spiritual power to be able to forge. The skull is quenched and completely entered the 8th rank. The spirit is immortal. The weight is different from the average person. Become a true Vajra, indestructible body. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows. King Kong is not bad. So why does the headmaster look sick? Old Man D said that King Kong is not bad. It does not mean that it is immortal. The headmaster was originally the general of Tianmen City. Use mental power to wipe out some immortal marks. It's what it is. Fang Ping suddenly realized. That is to say, it has reached the realm of Gao Ping. Only with mental power can you kill your opponent. No wonder Mr. Liu doesn't go to revenge. He couldn't kill the city lord. Old Man Li's head drooped slightly. Yes, we don't want him to be a grandmaster. Otherwise, Fang Ping looked at the energy stone in his hand, muttering about the grandmaster. Immediately, he absorbed a wisp of energy from the energy stone. Old Man Li was shocked, hurriedly slapped the energy stone from Fang Ping's hand. I'll show you. Didn't let you absorb it. Fang Ping smiled evilly. The teacher felt so good. No wonder everyone is saying it. Energy stones are really good things. The conversion speed is extremely fast. It's much easier to use than pills. Old man Li angrily dragged Fang Ping out of the room. Don't talk about it for a moment. Otherwise, you'll lose money. Fang Ping was still in love, staring at the energy stones on the counter. The screen turns. Old man Li led Fang Ping to another room. Look at the array of cave plants. Fang Ping said happily that today is really a long knowledge. Thank you, Mr. Li. Old man Li hated that iron could not become steel. Give me some courage. In laughter. You have the best chance of becoming a grandmaster. Fang Ping nodded seriously. You have to make a lot of money. Old man Li was angry. Picked up Fang Ping. Isn't it your kid who can distinguish priorities? I'll show you. So many things. Wanted to tell you. Martial arts is the most important thing. Making money is secondary. Don't take that platform too seriously. Here, no. And you can't say anything about the system. Fang Ping could only reluctantly say that he knew. The teacher is hard to ride a tiger. Juvenile system exposure. It attracted onlookers from the school's top management. I can only grit my teeth and fight. At this time, Fang Ping was soaking in broken body fluids and forging his body. For a while after that, Fang Ping carefully studied the humanities about the caves, knowledge of geography and other things, and constantly improved the theory of tactics and actual combat experience. On this day, Fang Ping came to Building 3 in Mowu South District. Prepare to quench the bone marrow. Mr. Song took the trouble to help me open an energy room for 3 days. A good 3 days is a total of 720 credits. Please show your 5-way card. Fang Ping touched his head and smiled. Teacher, I broke off the 3 products. Is it possible for a gifted student like me to get a discount? Teacher's Song erected. Thumbs up or something. Your 3 products are interrupted. He is worthy of being a genius student. Awesome. That's a total of 720 credits. Fang Ping trembled and took out 5 evidences. Teacher, I think so. Teacher Song stretched out his palm with an indifferent expression. 720 credits. Fang Ping was distressed, really stingy. Teacher Song returned the 5 certificates to Fang Ping. Thank you for your patronage. At this time, Lu Finger walked in. Excuse me. It's late, Fang Ting complained in her heart. Poor acting. He deliberately waited for me to finish paying before coming in. The two entered an energy room. Lu Fengru said that the spine was tempered. The bones of the whole body form a cycle. Carry out human metamorphosis. That's your chance. You can try to refine the bone marrow. Fang Ping replied. Understand this time. Wu Quishan, Huang Jin, the vice principal of the 8th grade high-end demon martial arts. Old Man Li and 3 people also came to watch. See a few people present. Lu Fengru turned around and left the energy room. Ready to get started. Fang Ping responded seriously. Old Man Li smiled and said that this kid is really interesting. It's not just a single bone. Rather, the spine is tempered as a whole. Huang Jing said suspiciously that 26 pieces of bones were quenched at one time. Is it possible to temper at the same time? With his qi and blood, it was only enough to last for about an hour. Lu Fengru said, I just observed. He did not bring any elixir. There is also no sign of qi and blood hoarding in the body. Old Man Li looked at Wu Quishan. This kid broke out in southern Xinjiang. You should be sure to do so. Wu Quishan frowned slightly. Began the energy power. Fang Ping's feet were spread. The horse squatted. Grow your hands. Stand on your chest. Use the tempering method to start the quenching step. The power of qi and blood quickly converged towards his vertebrae. Fang Ping's eyes were closed. Focus. Unleash your mental power. After a few moments, the surrounding energy particles. It came to his senses. Fang Ping carefully used his spiritual power to capture energy particles, but the mental power is just entwined. The energy particles dissipate. Wu Quishan looked shocked. He was using his psychic power to capture energy particles. Huang Jing said that his mental power was still too weak. I can catch it though. but you can't drag the energy into your body. A few drops of cold sweat broke out on Old Man Lee's forehead. Look at Teacher Song next to you. Can you see it? Teacher Song was speechless for a while. I am only 4 products. How is it possible to see spiritual power? At this time, Fang Ping consumed 49,000 wealth points. Replenish mental power. He gritted his teeth, sweating. Damn, I'm like a clown right now. Obviously, everyone knows that I have a problem, but he still chose to help me hide it. Act for me. Only by using mental power to move energy particles. Only then did he have an excuse to explain his chi and blood recovery problems. I can have my mental power now. It is simply impossible to capture energy particles. Mental power since 499 Hz. It's been stagnant. Do you want to forcibly elevate? What are the consequences of forcibly boosting mental power? I can't care so much about it. I don't believe that elevating Iha can kill me. So Fang Ping gritted his teeth. Mental power boost. Ding. The system prompt sounds. The upper limit of mental power has been broken to 500 Hz. Can be a second. Spiritual power suddenly burst out of his head. I only heard a snap. Fang Ping's eyes rolled instantly. The head tilted back. The crowd outside the energy room was shocked. Old Man Lee exclaimed, "What's wrong?" Wu Quishan hurriedly ran towards the energy room. Open the door, this endless spiritual power, in the end. Could it be that this kid is also a mutant dancer? At this time, Wu Quishan and the others hurriedly rushed into the energy room. Fang Ping, on the other hand, still maintained the posture of a horse's step. Eyes rolled. Remained motionless. Old Man Lee said anxiously what was going on. Lu Fengru raised her hand and waved it in front of Fang Ping's eyes. I don't know if you've ever encountered this situation. Wu Quishan frowned slightly. His mental power. Originally, it only reached the level of perception. Can't move energy particles. But just now it seems to have made a temporary breakthrough. Suddenly, a large amount of mental power was enhanced. Wanton shock to his consciousness. Normally, their own strength is not enough. Spiritual power is impossible to break through. But he broke through. It's like an ordinary person. Suddenly lifted 1,000 pounds of stones, and then stoned himself to death. It's ridiculous. Old Man Lee stepped forward and said, "So what now?" Wu Quishan snorted. Reach over Fang Ping's head. The soft spiritual power slowly floated out. His consciousness was not completely washed away. I now use my spiritual power to guide his consciousness condensation. If it cannot be restored in time, it is likely to lead to brain death. The situation is not very rosy. It also depends on his own willpower. Old Man Lee said, "Can it be understood as an obsession to live?" Wu Quishan replied. He stroked his chin at Old Man Lee. After a moment of silence, said Fang Ping in Fang Ping's ear, "I'll give you 10,000 blood points. Do you want 500 crying blood pills? It's free for you. Someone is going to take your platform." Several people were speechless for a while. Will this be useful? Old Man Lee continued. Fang Ping never woke up again. I'll take you to the lab to slice. Suddenly, Fang Ping's fingers trembled. Wu Quishan was taken aback. To wake up, Fang Ping's consciousness gradually recovered. Well, what just happened? I was right. I forcibly broke through the spiritual power just now. It seems to have been a brief loss of consciousness. He glanced at the system interface. The mental power online improvement has been successful. Very good, nothing too much. Try again. So he focused again. Unleash your mental power. Spiritual power slowly floated out from the square bottle. Grab an energy particle, then start pulling back. The square bottle is overjoyed. I blinked. The energy particles are submerged in the square bottle. Ding. The system prompt sounds. Chi and blood +5. The corners of the square bottle are raised. What an amazing effect. An energy particle can actually restore card-free chi and blood. Look at this scene. Huang Jin said with a little surprise. He can really move energy particles. Wu Quishan means a Samping warrior. It can be done to this extent. It was really unexpected. But Huang Jin went on to say that his mental strength was weak. Even if it was barely done, at most, it will restore 40 or 50 calories of qi and blood. Still can't explain the previous Vanka blood. Wu Quishan frowned slightly. You look carefully. At this time, Fang Ping consumed another 300,000 wealth values. Restore mental strength. The amount of wealth required to capture cardless energy particles. It's more than directly restoring card-free qi and blood. However, the depletion and recovery of mental power are invisible. A change of thinking will allow you to get by. So next, Fang Ping used his spiritual power to capture energy particles, restore qi and blood, while using the system to restore mental power. The imperial scene outside the window was shocked. This is a constant source of spiritual power. In the end, it is old man Li. Said I was thinking, could Fang Ping also be a mutant dancer? The Huajing of the golden marrow jade of King Nanwo. Wooly Hansong's natural skull was tempered and completed. Military Department Yao Qingjun 4 products can actually achieve the release of mental power. Fang Ping is the same as these people. It is also a certain trait of the grandmaster who appears in the body. Wu Quishan said yes. Even if it's me and Huang Jin, I don't know much about mental power. Further research may not lead to a result, unless you let the 9-rank grandmaster check it. Lu Fengru was not happy, turning his head and angrily reprimanding Wu Quishan. You dare to hit my student's idea. You're welcome to you. Several people looked confused. Wu Quishan frowned. What are you talking about? Lu Fengru's eyes were slightly courteous. You are used to being insidious. The daughters are willing to use it as bait. Who knows what you'll do? Wu Quishan Baran was furious and bastard. That's my responsibility. But it's definitely not what you say. I deliberately killed my own daughter. Lu Fengru lowered her head with gloomy eyes. Then why didn't you die? My daughter died. I doubt it now. You killed some of my students as well. Wu Quishan stopped talking. Huang Jin said helplessly, your students are our students too. Old man Li also said, no one wants to see it. His own loved ones and students died in the basement. There's no way around it. Lu Fengru angrily pointed at the old man Li, whose surname was Li. You shut up. You were there. I'll find out sooner or later. Wu Quishan's face sank. It's unbelievable. With that, he turned around and left. Teenagers spend great fortunes. Successfully broke through the 3 grade high section. Start today. I officially became an elite dancer. At this point, the distance is flat into the energy room. It's been 60 hours. Lu Fengru and old man Li have been guarding outside. Qi and blood energy roared around Fang Ping. Fang Ping's face was full of exhaustion. I'm so tired and sleepy. Lu Fengru, who had been closing her eyes to recuperate, suddenly opened her eyes. It's going to be done. At this time, Fang Ping's waist bent slightly. Followed by, there was a creaking sound from his spine. Lu Fengru shouted Fang Ping, remember to try to refine your bone marrow. Fang Ping's eyes froze. I understood that the words had just fallen. His face bulged suddenly. Fang Ping was stunned. Before he could react, the skin all over his body swelled up one after another. Fang Ping was shocked. Here's what's going on. Then there was a bang. The bulging skin contracted suddenly. The corners of Fang Ping's mouth raised. The 3-rank high stage is really different from other stages. The contraction and expansion of the body makes the skin tighter. Bones and qi and blood are also metamorphosed in the body. But at this moment, the system prompt beeps suddenly. Less than 15% of qi and blood. The metamorphosis is about to stop. Fang Ping hurriedly called out the system. More than 20 million have been spent on the value of wealth. Then he gritted his teeth and continued. So he spent 820,000 fortunes. Restored chi and blood. His body swelled again. Lu Fengru and the others also watched this scene nervously. After a moment, Fang Ping exhaled slowly. The system prompt sounds. It has been upgraded to the 3rd grade high level. Fang Ping's fists slammed into each other. Bang! The sound of metal colliding came out. He looked at his hands excitedly, and I became an Iron Man. At this time, the door to the energy room opened. Lu Fengru and the others walked in. Lu Fengru said yes. The muscles and bones have been tempered to a new stage. Old Manly also smiled and said it's a pity. It is only 1 step away from the peak of the 3rd grade. The bone marrow has not been tempered. Fang Ping touched his head, smiled awkwardly, and tried his best. Light is the metamorphosis of the body. It consumes all the chi and blood. Then he raised his hand and pointed to his ear. Mr. Li, did you say you were going to give me credit? He also said that he was going to send me a weeping blood pill. Old Man, Li said calmly. When? There's no way you're hallucinating. Fang Ping's eyes narrowed. Strange, Lu Fengru glanced at Old Man Li. A drop of cold sweat slipped down his face. Then he said to Fang Ping, next it's time to practice the tactics of battle. Accumulation of strength and heritage. There's no need to rush to break through to the top. Fang Ping looked at Lu Fengru expectantly. Teacher, I'm now. Is it easy to defeat the middle of the 3rd grade? Lu Fengru said lightly that it may not be. It's up to you to control your power. Your mid-burst of white card chi and blood. To the high stage, as long as the outbreak of the 4 card can exert the same power, but you'll only be able to explode the 4 card. I want to increase the amount of bursts. It is necessary to improve the control of chi, blood, and tactics. The dancer is called in power. That is, the outbreak of the battle method must reach 10% of the current chi and blood. In my opinion, though, dancers who don't master the killer are waste. Fang Ping said disappointedly. Other words, I'm now even the introductory power of the 3rd high-level level. None of them have mastered. That's right, at this time. I only heard a smack. A flash of swords flashed. A dagger suddenly stabbed Fang Ping in the chest. The stab made a bang. Fang Ping yelled at Teacher Li. What are you doing? A drop of cold sweat was drawn on Fang Ping's face. Old Man Li said seriously, the grasp of strength is weakened. But with your current constitution, let the erping dancers attack casually. None of them will necessarily break your physical defenses. Fang Ping was speechless for a while. Teacher Li, you're a 6-pin. I'm still going to hurt. Old Man Li hurriedly drew back the dagger. Blood spurted out of Fang Ping's chest with a pop. I'm sorry. I meant to say you're already strong. Don't be frustrated. Thank you. Then Fang Ping exhaled. I'm not depressed. It's distressing. In order to reach the high segment, I spent all my wealth worth. But then, he clenched his fist. The corners of his mouth are raised, but from today, I officially became an elite dancer. There is a gap in some 5 funds. The boy thought of a strange trick again. Let me be accountable. It's not easy to get 1.08 billion. At this time, in an office in the faraway company of the Dingxing building, Fang Ping and Li Qingze. I was talking about the company's recent situation. Fang Ping asked how the financing was going. Li Qingze replied, there is a company that is interested in our F&B platform. Hope to raise 20 million. Acquire a 30% stake.